Hey YouTube, how's it going? Selena here, and today is January 6th, 2015, and I am going to be talking about two of the appointments leading up to my son's surgery, which is tomorrow. So if you have watched my craniosynostosis video, you know that my son is going to be having surgery on January 7th. And that video talks more about the surgery and things like that. So I will link that in the description below if you haven't watched it. So here are, and if he will be having the endoscopic procedure. So here are to the appointments leading up to that procedure. So the first appointment I'm going to be talking about is his first helmet appointment, which was on December 31st. So before he has the surgery, he had to go get his head scanned for the helmet, and he will also have to go after the surgery. So what happened after surgery is, first, what they did was they put this little sock looking thing on his head and they cut slits where his ears were. And they put this little thingy in the back, like this cord to the back and connected to the top. And they scanned around his head so that they can get measurements of his head and the shape of his head so that they can make a helmet for it.
So it's optically safe. It's like the ones they have at the market. You get to sit still? Well, no, we don't lose that. Because if it's on the floor here, you don't want to put it back in your mouth.
There we go.
Does that taste good?
All right, honey. I know you're trying to watch that.
It's usually the noise. It's the click. That.
Okay, forward. Come on, you're good.
And I will put in the clip in the pictures of these. So after that, he asked a lot of questions, starting from how the pregnancy went, how he was born, his weight, and all of that stuff. And so we answered all of those questions, and then afterwards we talked more. So we will visit them 15 times in a year to get the helmet, to make sure he's still got room for his head to grow, to change anything in the helmet that needs to be changed. He will actually be having two helmets because his head will grow so much, so he'll have to get a bigger helmet somewhere down the line. His helmet, I don't know if anyone has actually looked up and seen like what the orthopedic, I believe that's what it's called, the orthopedic helmets look like. But usually there's one opening on the side so that you can stretch it open and put it over their head. My son's will actually be in two pieces, so I'll put it on like this and then do the Velcro. So we will have to come back right after his surgery for them to scan his head again, because his head will change a little bit after the surgery. And so we will get the helmet about 10 days after his surgery. So yeah, we won't have it right away. So his surgery's on Thursday, and I think at most, well, I don't know when you say at most, at least maybe we'll be in the hospital 3 days, which means that we'll get out the hospital Saturday, Sunday. So I think Monday, maybe when we go back for them to rescan his head, because I mean we can't go on the weekends if they're closed, right? So yeah. And then we're hoping that this helmet is going to be green. I probably could have asked for something else, some kind of design or whatever, but I honestly didn't know what to ask for. So since his colors are green, we're just gonna go with the green helmet. And I think one other thing is that the doctor that is doing his helmet actually doesn't have experience doing helmets for craniosynostosis patients. My son will be his first one, but he has made helmets before. He's made helmets for people or children with the flat head. So I mean, even though he hasn't done the one for my son, I'm still pretty confident in his ability. If I wanted more experienced doctor, I would have had to get one up closer in Seattle, but we really don't have the means to be going back and forth to Seattle every 2 or so weeks. So we decided to go with a doctor that was closer, and that's him. So I mean, it is what it is, and it's really not that big of a deal. So I'm going to talk about the second appointment, or appointments, because it's like a whole bunch in one. Leading up to his surgery, which was on Monday, January 4th at Seattle Children's, and these were his pre-operation appointments. So in this appointments, we met with neurosurgery, we met a nurse in neurosurgery, we met with the doctors doing the surgery, we met with craniofacial doctors, social worker, and the photographer. We met with the photographer before, but I think those pictures were for scrapbooking, and so the pictures that we took then are for his medical records. So, and they'll also get pictures after the surgery and after he's done with the helmet. So with neurosurgery, they pretty much told us everything that we needed to know. So there will be 2 doctors, a plastic surgeon, I believe, and a neurosurgeon. The neurosurgeon is there because there's like this layer of, I don't know what it's called, separating the brain and the fluids in the brain from everything else on the outside, the skin and the blood and stuff. So going in and cutting, they may actually end up nicking a hole in that membrane, and some of the spinal fluid could come out. So the neurosurgeon is there to sew that back up. Yeah. And they also talked to us about anesthesia. They will be giving him gas to put him to sleep, and after they give the gas is when they'll start putting in the IVs and stuff. So it's not going to be before. He won't feel the pricks and the pain or anything like that. That'll all be done afterwards. We had to get lab done for neurosurgery, so they nicked his foot and they took a mess load of blood out that little cut in his foot, but it is what it is. He did really good with that. He didn't cry or anything. He just kind of laid there and tried to get his foot back. That didn't work though. So they told us that there was a possibility of them still having to do the open surgery. Like they may not, when they go in, they may not be able to do what they need to do to be able to do endoscopic. So they may have to do open surgery. And then there's also, even though with the endoscopic surgery there is less of a risk of a blood transfusion, it's still a possibility. So I had to sign consents for the endoscopic surgery with a possible open, and then I had to sign consents for blood transfusion. So we were asked a lot of questions, a mess load of questions, same questions over and over again. Basically like allergies, what's he eating, how often does he eat, what comforts him, and different things like that. I can't even think of all the other questions, but we were asked a lot of questions and we were asked them multiple times, but I think it's just to make sure that everything's been covered and it's all on record, you know, for them to go back and look at. So what we have to do before surgery, well, it's supposed to be 3 days before surgery, so we're supposed to start on Monday the 4th, but we couldn't. We had to start on Tuesday the 5th because we didn't get, when we went to order the medicine, we couldn't, they had to order it. So we have this wash stuff. It's just clear soap that we're supposed to bathe him in at night. And so what we do is we wash him regular, and then you can either empty out the bath or take him out the bath. What I did was I just took him out the bath, put this on him, let it stay on him for about 5 minutes or until he gets cold, and then rinse it off. And this is to get rid of any bacteria or whatever on his body so that he doesn't get an infection. And then there is this stuff, which is for his nose. You put it around the inside of his nose to kill any bacteria around his nose, again, so that he does not get an infection. And that's what we are doing before surgery. So one thing that I'm happy that we are going to be being able to do is contribute to research. This lady came and talked to us, and basically what they're going to do, and it's something that you have a choice to do or don't have a choice to do, and I chose to do it. I think it's really cool that we get to do this. What they're going to do is they've got to get blood samples from both of us, and they're going to check our DNA and see if there are any mutations in the DNA that would cause him to have craniosynostosis. So for him, they're going to do it during his surgery so that they don't have to do any other nicks or anything like that on him. Since he'll already have IVs, they'll just draw the blood from there. And then for me, while he's having the surgery, I will go and get my blood drawn. So I think that's really awesome that we get to contribute to research for his condition. So while we're there, we have to check in at 6:30 in the morning. His surgery is at 8. We will be given a pager to let us know what's going on. So after he goes in for surgery, they'll put him to sleep, do the IVs, and that takes about 45 minutes, and then they'll start the surgery. And then around 10 o'clock, I will go to get my blood drawn. His surgery may take 1 to 2 hours, but they have it marked off for 3 hours. After the surgery is finished, he will go get a CT scan to check and make sure everything is good. And then he will be moved to the ICU, and that's where we will meet him after the surgery. So, yeah, I think that is pretty much it for his pre-surgery appointments and everything that we learned from there. If there is more, then I will put it in the description below if there's anything else that I forgot. So until next time, we shall see you guys later. Well, because it's just me in this video. I don't know why I'm saying we, but I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.